Welcome to your second HTML and CSS full tutorial. I am Peter Claver. Let's get into it. Today, we'll actually be writing some codes and saving and running a browser, and then you shall see how awesome you would be after this. Alright, so before we can write HTML codes, we need a text editor. And I don't want us to go external. Everyone else has a notepad. I want to keep this basic, so you don't have to do any downloading now. So just open our notepads, and then as basic as this, we can start writing our HTML codes on a notepad, and it's going to work so fine. Now, what I want you to know is that before we write the HTML codes, I want you to know that the HTML programming language is written to a browser to interpret. So before you can write the code, you need to let the browser know that this is the HTML programming language, and I want you to interpret it as HTML. How do you do that? You first of all write open and close the HTML tags. Now, what is an HTML tag? I can't really explain better, but I can tell you that this is an HTML tag. Basically, less than and a greater than and closing the letters H, T, M, and L. That's an HTML tag. You get it? So basically, if you type this, the browser knows that you're going to program in HTML. But then the browser doesn't know when you're going to end programming this HTML. So how do you tell the browser? Stop programming in HTML. You have to just do the same thing, less than, but this time around you add a forward slash and then HTML. That's what you have, then you close it. So when you do this, you are ready to go. You have told the browser that I'm going to program in the HTML programming language, so read this as HTML, not a text file. You get it? So at this point in time, there are certain tags that you need to add. You need to know you need to add a head tag. I'll explain this later on when we get to links and so many other important things, and you have to close the head tag. Just remember that. And then again, you need to remember to put in the title tag. Then you close this. Then you also close this title tag. It's as easy as ABC. Now, in between this title tag, what is supposed to be there? If I should come to my browser, I don't have internet connection. All right, okay. When you look up here, you find internetstat.net. That's the title of this page. So whatever I put here, if we save it and we're going to run, that's what's going to appear up there. So we're going to put Clever Tech here. Put in Clever Tech. Beautiful. That name is so awesome. Alright, so after this we are done with the head section. The next thing we're going to do is the body. I'll explain all these things in a couple of minutes, don't worry. In few tutorials you'll understand everything over here. So you write the body tag, you open it and you close it. So what I want you to see is that anything that I open, I close. I opened HTML, I closed HTML. I opened head, I closed head. I opened title, I closed title. You get it? I open body and I close body. So basically, when you open the door, you shut it. So whatever you open, every time you open in HTML, you have to close it, even though there are a few exceptions, and you get to know that later on. Now, what I want us to do is know that we have what we call headers or headings, and then the headings are ranged from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So basically, H1 is the biggest, H2 follows, then H3 like that. So it starts from the biggest to the smallest. This is in the descending order. So I want us to use an H1 tag, and then we're going to write some code here. So just as we open the body, we also open H1, we close H1, we close the H1 tag. So this is the end of it, that you type H1, and then we're going to type the best word ever. Hello world. We're telling the world that we are coming to become programmers. Okay, with this, now I want to teach you how to save it and run it as your first HTML project. So let's save this with Control S, and then we want to save this as an index. Why are we saving this as an index? An index basically is seen as a browser as the starter file. So when you save anything as an index, the browser sees it as a starter file, and that's what it works with. So we're going to save this at all files, and we're going to add a index. That dot didn't go. An index.html. And as we save it this way, we're going to save it to desktop because I didn't really create any folder for it. So we just put it in the desktop and then we save it. We have it saved and then we come here. So we find out index.html here. So it already turned into that Chrome kind of thing. That shows that it's actually something that's going to run as a website. So let's launch it and see how it is like. Boom! And you have really done something amazing today. You have started an HTML career and you have greeted the world and you are going so far. So this is how simple HTML is. And then watch out, subscribe to my channel, and then wait for my next tutorial. I'll be back with so many nice and amazing tutorials. Just hang on, and at the end of this course, you would be a professional in HTML and CSS. Thank you for your time today.